company. Hey guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do for clients. But before I do, I want to flip that a little bit, and I'm going to talk about what clients do for us. You know, obviously we work in a professional services industry. We sell things. We sell financial solutions. I don't know of a single sales organization that exists without clients. WFG doesn't exist. Transamerica doesn't exist. We're not here without our clients. Very, very important concept. What they do for us is very, very important. It's so important that I think oftentimes we miss it, kind of like the forest through the trees. But think about it for a minute. The reason we're here is to serve clients. They pay our bills. They do everything for us. And it is absolutely an amazing, amazing responsibility that we have. It was so amazing. I remember I spent 13 years at the world's largest consulting firm, the world's largest CPA organization. For 13 years, we were paid twice a month, the last day of the month and the middle of the month. And on every single pay stub, in bold and in all caps, on every single pay stub, when you opened it and you looked, wow, I thought I was worth more than this, but in every pay stub at the very top, it said, brought to you by our clients. A constant reminder that what we do is completely directly responsible for the value we're adding to our clients. Very, very important. So let me talk a little bit about what we do for clients. So, I struggle thinking about how to condense the important things that we do here at WFG into a short amount of time. I mean, do we start about the incredible importance of life insurance coverage? Should we talk about that every American needs a plan to retire someday? What about long-term care? There's so many things. I started researching it. I don't know if you've YouTubed it before, but you go to the It's Real campaign on YouTube. It is an amazing, amazing thing. It tells you when life happens, when you have the baby, when somebody passes away. That is when life is real. I think it's one of the best campaigns ever done. I truly do. I truly believe that. So I looked at that. I was looking for inspiration. I took a look at a lot of industry literature. I looked at LIMRA, and boy, that is just an incredible demand for what we are all about here, isn't it? I mean, it goes on and on about how critical the need is for people like us to serve North American families. I looked at AGON, the retirement readiness industry. I looked at TCRS, the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies. And I just want to mention that because this company has so much fantastic research that tells us just how important what we do is. And it's so vitally important. Boy, I tell you what, if people don't have a plan, the government does. And I believe we're on the front line fighting that battle. So I really struggle with that. What am I going to talk about? And as often is the case, life gave me the answer. Let me tell you a little bit about that. Last Wednesday, just about 9 days ago, I was in the office, out in the field, and just a long, long day. I spent time with clients. I was on client calls. We had all kinds of hired interviews that day. Just one of those long days. Finally got home about 8 o'clock, and I sat down as I always do, and I talked to my wife Mary, and she said, "Tell me about your day." And I just kind of dictated. Told her everything that I did that day. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. And our clients happen to be friends of ours too in many cases. We developed friendships with them over the years. And I proceeded to tell her about XYZ client and these clients I'm going to share with you here today. And I talked to her about the entire day. At the end of that conversation, she looked at me and she says, "Isn't it amazing what we do for clients?" And it's like that bolt of lightning just struck me. Enough research. I want to tell you something about a couple of real life stories that happened in one day, one morning last Wednesday, that makes it very real for hopefully a lot of people in this audience. Let me tell you first of all about my client John. John and Carolyn have been clients of mine. They're in their late 70s right now. Been clients for 12 years. They're one of my very first clients in this business. Absolutely love working with them. Developed a real friendship over the years. To make a long story short, John just spent 45 days in the hospital, intensive care, life support, called in the 6 kids from one as far away from Boston to be with the dad at the bedside when he was supposed to pass away. Stayed in the hospital for 45 days and somehow made a miraculous recovery. He went home, rested. This is back at the end of June, rested, and I went back to see him finally on last Wednesday. And it was interesting because the conversation was just an amazing, amazing conversation. He said, "You know something, I had a high degree of peace I know this sounds really strange, Brian, but I was very peaceful because the will, the trust, everything we've done, I didn't have any financial concerns. I've been told that happens with people, but I've never really experienced at that level. And he said, but I wasn't supposed to make it, so Carol and I want to talk about what would happen if I didn't make it home. What's the next day supposed to look like? Who's Carolyn going to call? What are we going to do? How are you going to help? Tell us everything that's going to happen. Pretend like it happened. And he just wanted to know, what if that happened? Literally driving away from that client to my office, I get a phone call from another client. Let me tell you something about Mark. Mark is 56 years of age. He's been a client of mine for 9 years. He has 3 kids, 1 in college, 2 in high school. He, 2 years ago, was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. And the disease has progressed so far that he certainly can't work, and they just had to put in a stair lift so he can move amongst the floors in his house. And at the end of the conversation, he talks to me, he calls me with more increasing frequency these days just to talk. And at the end, he said, Brian, I wanted to tell you, I finally, it's always been a dream of mine to build that wine bar in the basement, and it's just got completed. Brian, let me ask you a question. Can you pick out a time in the next couple of weeks to just come over? Let's break in the wine bar. I just want to talk to you. Those 2 client events happened in one morning. And I want to share that with you, especially some of the newer people in here, because I got to be honest with you. When I sat down, and WFG has made it so that both of those clients are going to be safe. We enacted things with both of those families 8-10 years ago. They're going to be fine financially. But they both want to hear from me exactly what tomorrow is going to look like. We talk about tomorrow makers. We use that term. It's real now. This stuff was real for these people. And I just love being in a position to be able to sit across that kitchen table and help them when life happens and it's real now. Please, everybody here for the first time, understand that what you're doing right now is critically important to families. Understand that we're one of the only firms that's adequately serving Middle America. And understand, if it's not here, where's it going to happen? If it's not us, who's going to do it? Thank you, WFG.